This series is a celebration of architectural design in Australia. From the coast, to the city, to the bush. We showcase some of Australia's best architectural and interiors projects and talk to the country's leading architects and designers to uncover the incredible stories behind them. Welcome to Australia by Design. Australian architecture is world-class, and our ByDesign team of industry experts have selected some of the best design projects from around the country.
One of the things I noticed in this season is how many of the projects are refurbishment projects. What I love about that is this idea that what we have is valuable, and how do we keep it, how do we revision it, how do we turn it into something new.
Let's get started with our first project.
Chalk at New Farm, the architects are incredible at interpreting architectural elements from the area, but in a more contemporary way. So they've got these sculptural forms and horizontal lines. You'll see how well it connects.
So it is written that man created right angles, but God created curves. The spirit of that architectural proverb is imbued within the walls of these designer apartments in Brisbane, where the devil is also in the detail. Okay, Cameron, let me challenge you. What are some of the themes you've put into this building?
So a key part of the Greyer design philosophy is about sculptural forms, it's about natural materials, and it's about creating an architecture that catches light and is made out of robust materials.
Gone are the days of the Australian dream of a quarter block and a petrol lawnmower with a picket fence. We're now looking at apartments. Everybody's gravitating towards the cities and wanting to live close to the amenity. And we're really taking everything we've learnt out of premium houses and packaging up into apartments.
Now I'm looking around at some of the vernacular architecture, and it's very different to what you've created.
It is different, but there are similarities. So you can see the detailing on the facade and how there's stratum of horizontal banding that's taken from Queenslander vernacular of horizontal banding of weatherboards. And it's part of a modern interpretation of a Queenslander, upgraded for a modern lifestyle.
So it's curves, corners and creativity.
Come on, let's take a look.
All right, let's go.
So you only get one chance at a first impression, and we've carried the finishes through to really create a space that's welcoming.
I noticed some of those soffites almost deco.
Yeah.
I'm loving some of this artwork.
Oh, Pete, I'm really glad you noticed. We actually had this artwork commissioned especially for the chalk foyers. So there's 10 apartments in chalk. This is the crowning jewel penthouse, and I'll leave you with Cam to show you around.
Wow. You don't mind creating an impression?
Yeah, no, so the entry of these apartments is really the most important piece. Natural light in the spaces, sculptural forms really create a home that you want to come back to.
Cam, tell me about this stair. This is a statement.
Yeah, so the sculptural steel stair, fabricated off-site, brought on-site and clad in situ in the custom timber flooring.
Wow, it leads to somewhere special, I'm sure.
So the penthouse consists of 3 bedrooms en-suited and 2 living rooms, which plays into that family home feeling. But the main feature is the kitchen with a fully marble island bench.
Have a look at this. This is extraordinary.
Yeah, Pete, I guess we always see the kitchen as the heart of the home, and this kitchen island really creates a central focal piece. We work with a single stonemason, and he's an absolute craftsman. Here we've paired that with the ABI tapware, giving us the high-end design we were trying to achieve. And I think just the scale of this island too. Like we talk about the house-like proportions, I think this is 6.5 metres long. So taking that real monolithic form out of a house and putting it into an apartment is what creates this real house-like proportion.
Well, I'm seeing the curves echoed in some of this internal detail, and I've also noticed this little subtle detail here.
Absolutely. So the cabinetry by the Cabinet Hub has been an immaculate part of this job. They've exceeded expectations, but the design as well, giving us that sweeping curves of the facade, bring that through to the interiors, really creates a cohesive building, we believe.
So what is it about curves you think we're attracted to?
I believe curves are a natural part of life and a natural part of the environment, And bringing those curves into the home makes it feel more natural and makes us feel more at home.
Just one of those details is the sea breeze curtains from Gold Coast Blinds and Shutters, and we found that the translucency and the way that it responds to breezes a really beautiful effect.
You can always have fun with ceiling heights. Here, the soaring grandeur of the entry is contrasted with the intimacy of the main bedroom area. Here, the ceilings come down into the sleeping zone, but it's opposite here I really wanted to show you. This ensuite is absolutely exquisite. The theme of the curve continued under the vanity. The marble, have a look at this. This is jewel-like sense of precision from the stonemason. I mean, the mind boggles. Have a look at the corner also. Not a right angle, but again, a gentle, subtle curve. These white textured tiles getting that splash of light, just creating that beautiful textured finish. The level of detail in here is absolutely extraordinary. Well, Charles Flesser, the extraordinary artist, has arrived. Now, I wanted to pick your brain. How did you respond as an artist to an architectural brief?
Oh, look, it's really exciting. It's one of my favourite things to do, actually. I love working with architects and in professional design because we have a language all our own, and it's just really exciting to be able to help.
Okay, I'm describing this as abstract expressionism, perhaps?
Yes.
How do you come up with these gestural expressions?
Well, it's just standing and moving. It's only going to be within the natural realm of my personal movement.
Are you a frustrated architect?
I actually studied technical drawing at school, and I was terrible. Terrible
really?
Because I had smudges and everything everywhere.
But now you've made a career out of it.
Well, actually, luckily, I was able to redeem myself.
So this outdoor roof space is pretty special. Not too tropical today, but I imagine it gets a lot of use.
Yeah, look, Pete, I think a massive consideration for us is landscaping. So in Queensland, we spend a lot of time outdoors, and I guess we really value the landscaping and what that does to the experience of the building.
Now, I'm sure they didn't grow from seedlings. How did you get those palm trees in here?
We sourced those from North Queensland and hoisted them on a crane. So it really was a bit of an engineering feat getting them in place.
Supporting all of this greenery, there's an enormous amount of engineering, I'd imagine, going on here.
Absolutely, and you'll notice here as well, there's no columns holding up this structure above us. It's just free floating, and we've spent a lot of time engineering beams that come out to pick up that planter and create that sculpture that you see.
Moving into the future, more and more of us are going to be living in medium and high density apartments such as this. Here, from concept to completion, the curve has been key, combining both art and architecture, hopefully creating a ripple effect for other great design.
The Koorie Heritage Trust occupies a building in one of the most sensitive and important parts of Melbourne. And it was a real challenge for them to reinvent this building, but I think they've done an incredible job.
I love this project. When you walk into the space, you're transformed somewhere else. It's wonderful to see how the architects addressed ancient culture and they've been able to find that balance with modern contemporary design.
The Birrarung. Some people call it the Yarra River, and it's been the lifeblood of many a community who's lived in this region for thousands of years. And there's a project that's in the very cultural heart of Melbourne that's taking its design cues from this setting.
The Koorie Heritage Trust is an organisation that was set up in 1985, and it's very much about promoting, supporting, celebrating the fact that you actually have here in Victoria a living, contemporary First Nations, Indigenous culture. When most people think of Aboriginal Australia, they think up north, they think Queensland, the Northern Territory, Western Australia, but you actually have a contemporary community down here.
And you've been making some pretty big architectural moves lately.
We have. So when we moved here in 2015 at Federation Square, we actually took the bottom floor and the top floor. Last year we were very fortunate in taking the middle floor, which basically means we now have the entire building, and for us it's a very, very fantastic statement of the recognition of Victorian Aboriginal people within Melbourne and within the state of Victoria as well.
Jifa, Sam, you're two of the three architects that led the design on this project.
That's right, Mike. Our two practices collaborated with a third practice, Lions Architects, and a First Peoples contracted DLG Shape to deliver this major refurbishment.
Significantly, the project previously turned its back on the river.
What? Turned its back on all this?
What we wanted to do was reassert the relationship to the Birrarung, the River of Mist and Shadows, as Birrarung language would call it, and start to use that as design inspiration. So it started to inform the look, the feel, the colours, and becomes a new destination for Melbourne.
Now, Jifa, inside here, what has changed? I mean, how big a job was this?
Boy, this was a major transformation. So previously this was a small retail space. Across here were the two smaller gallery spaces. This has now been transformed into a cultural teaching space. And so across there you can see there's a map which shows the pre-colonial context of Melbourne. We've got the great K5 furniture which we included as well. And then under here, under the stairs and the escalators, we've really carefully edited to unlock the potential of this space to create a new gathering area. And this is really where kids come and to showcase and to celebrate knowledge and culture and country. This is a really important hive of activity.
Now, Jifa, is that the Birrarung above our heads?
This is a really important motif. This is the river motif which runs through the entirety of the project. So we've used this rippled metal from Rhymex, and it really shows the kinetic quality and movement of water, reflects the colours around it, so it's a really important part of the design.
Now guys, coming up to the middle floor, I understand this is where there were big changes.
Yeah, the middle floor is the expansion level. As we move up vertically through the building, the interior design of the project really starts to reveal itself.
So up here now we start to really see where we are. On the southern side it references to the river, and then towards the north we start to open up to the civic plaza that is Federation Square.
But why don't we walk around the corner, Mike, and tell you the rest of the story from over there.
Okay, I love a good story. Downstairs on the first floor there would be nothing like this space available.
No, the spatial configuration of downstairs was really tight, and when they moved upstairs to this level, it essentially expanded the gallery offering by double.
Oh, wow. And I understand on the middle floor here, it was commercial space. So how do you turn that into a gallery space?
Remove a lot of the residue of that commercial fit out. It was 20 years old, glossy commercial white tiles.
Wow, white tiles?
White tiles. White tiles in a gallery is a bit of a challenge, so we removed that and ground the slab back. And you can see that we've now stained it black, so the floor essentially falls away from your line of sight. We did the same with the ceiling, removed the plasterboard ceiling, the drop ceiling, lifted all the surfaces and the lighting up, sprayed it all black so it performs acoustically. And then all of your attention when you're in here is back on the work.
Yeah, I mean, this is the hero.
Yeah, and in addition to that, off to my side here, a unique annex gallery space, which we worked with First Peoples artist Lisa Waugh and Willie Weston, who are textile designers, to create that unique condition as well.
Over here it really starts to open up. You get a full appreciation of all the floors from the ground floor up, and you get a sense of the colour, the texture, the movement, the materiality. Aspen Commercial were the joiners who pulled it all together, and it's a really significant part of the project.
Sam, tell me about this reoccurring wall. It seems to be everywhere.
Yeah, this timber batten wall, it's an Australian hardwood, a spotted gum wall that we worked on with sculpt form, and it flows and weaves through the entire fit out. And in moments like the one behind me, it holds important parts of the permanent collection.
Now, guys, tell me it isn't so. This vista here didn't exist.
Yeah, that's right. There was a series of partition screens that we removed as part of the fit out. And to be honest, Mike, it was an easy win for the design team.
Brilliant. Gentlemen, it's not often a project like this comes along.
No, it's not. These types of projects for cultural organisations like the Koorie Heritage Trust are exceptionally rare, and they're exceptionally meaningful projects for us as architects to be involved in.
And significantly, the project really anchors in country and culture. It showcases 67,000 years of connection, but importantly, it's showcased through contemporary design culture.
Tom, what do you think of the architects?
Look, I actually think what they've delivered is just something that's outstanding in terms of reflecting not just a 60, 70,000 year lived culture here in Victoria, but also at the same time reflecting a very contemporary design sensibility, reflecting the fact that you actually have this vibrant living community still here in Victoria.
I'm in the beautiful suburb of Peppermint Grove in Perth, visiting a special house of a couple who wanted a peaceful single-level haven for themselves and an upper level to contain their adult kids and grandkids when visiting. Space, privacy, and a little chaos control. Let's take a look. Lovely to meet you both.
Hi, Mary Lou.
I'm so looking forward to seeing your home. So let's see what the inside's like.
Come on through.
I love what you've done. I am getting serious house envy. You do realise that. What was the brief that you gave the architects?
Just 2 words, understated elegance.
I spec'd the house in terms of the rooms we wanted on each level, and we needed a basement level for parking, but we have children and we have grandchildren, and there are 3 bedrooms upstairs all with bathrooms, and you know it works really well when they visit.
There are so many amazing details. The bench top and the porcelain. There is a trend that we're talking about that's called colour flooding. So it's using the one timber colour throughout, and it really unifies the space, but there's interesting detail.
I wanted it to look good as well as being really, really useful and just working for me. And it does, it absolutely works. I was persuaded to have this, and it's been beautiful to work with. It's a nice porcelain top, it cleans, it takes everything that you throw at it, and so I'm really very happy.
I looked for somewhere that you could get a television and a fire that weren't one on top of the other. And the guys came up with this, and it's worked really, really well. And the architects particularly thought about winter sun. They designed the pergola, so not only is it open to let the sun in, but it also fully opens back. Through the winter months, it just lightens up the whole house.
And I'm guessing you dine out here most of the time, yeah?
Yep, and it feels like home.
Oh my God, this is stunning.
Well, we also had this, which was, stroke of genius. No glass. We have a moat around our living room.
I hadn't noticed that. That is so clever. You've built yourself a modern day moat.
They put the blade walls in over here and there, and there's very little glass. We can see all of the pool from the living room. It's worked really well.
Leisha, tell me about the design philosophy of this beautiful home.
It was really important for the home to suit the lives of the owners and the way that they like to live, but also to have the ability to expand and contract to suit the visits from family and friends.
I'm noticing in amongst all these beautiful clean lines that you've got a few little soft curves.
We do. You'll see this curve behind you here sweeps us through into the master suite. So this is the master bedroom.
Well, I can see why Andrew calls this his haven. My haven is in there.
Let's go through.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes, this is a wardrobe.
Well, the great thing about this space is that there are no walls and no doors. The joinery does all the talking. We really give emphasis to the detail in these spaces, where you'll see that we've inserted these black elements to frame some of the key clothing pieces.
I love it.
And this is the master ensuite.
The bathroom epitomises calmness and that subtle curve that just appears every now and again throughout the home. What made you think of this?
The design team really found that the Polytech product gave endless options in terms of bringing some warmth into bathroom space. It's allowed us to bring in a sculptural piece to really frame that bath element. Really, it's a showpiece in itself. So this is the upstairs retreat, really designed with the family in mind as a place that they could come and get away from the action of the home. And as you can see, lots of natural light flooding into the room throughout the day. And let me just show you one of the 3 bedrooms. It's really important when designing to consider natural ventilation and access to light. In each of the bedrooms you can see the louvers, and in the bathroom the skylight flooding that space with light.
This is such a great example of architecture inside and out, and it has won many awards, including the Polytech National Design Award. How do you feel about it?
Look, the home is so successful in many ways. The continuity of finishes inside to out and the attention to detail throughout really speaks for itself.
This home embodies the definition of understated elegance, exactly what the owners wanted. It's a perfect balance of style, comfort, sophistication, but I honestly love everything about this home, so I'm moving in.
Parramatta Aquatic Centre, wow, what a building. Just blends into the landscape. It's the building that's there that's not there.
Swimming, the great Australian pastime. And we're not bad at designing and constructing public baths and pools as well. But Andrew Burgess, it's not just a case of digging a hole and just adding water.
Absolutely not. These are some of the most complex projects you can possibly build.
So Peter, welcome to Parramatta Aquatic Centre. To us, one of the most beautiful aquatic centres in the world.
Got to check this out. Now Andrew, this aquatic tale starts on a site of Indigenous, colonial and international significance.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look around, it's just a big parkland, but it actually has UNESCO World Heritage. There's paintings from Joseph Lycett, an early convict painter, of the emerging colonial town of Parramatta, literally from this site. But actually retaining that sense of an empty foreground to look towards the city was really important, and to not do anything that impacts the views of Old Government House.
So the pressure was on, don't muck it up.
Absolutely, yeah.
So your response though is something that you can't see.
That's success as far as we're concerned.
So Peter, now we are on the upper ring terrace, so as you can see, looking down into the 50-metre pool.
Right. One of the key things when you think about aquatic centres, they're often these sort of large sheds, and we really wanted to do something that was much more embedded in the landscape.
And Elena, sinking it into the ground solved one big problem, didn't it?
Yes, like we were always trying to avoid having a fence around it.
And we really just tried to disguise the pool fence into this whole ring that wraps around, so you're really not even conscious that there's a fence there.
Australia being the biggest island in the world, it is embedded into our culture, isn't it? Being part of the water.
Absolutely, and when you think of the history of the memorial pools in Australia, whether you're from the city or the country, that sense of building communities through these kind of days around the pool and swimming, it's a really key part of Australian life.
It's all about creating spaces where people can meet and enjoy doing different activities together, and like being able to create different spaces within that big common space where you can enjoy it in different ways.
And having all of those areas gave us access and security challenges. Dormicaba solved these with speed gates, sliding doors and the swing door systems. For the pools here we used a company called Merthyr Pools, and apparently there have been 178 world records in Merthyr Pools, including 33 by Australian athletes.
Wow.
So we're also really interested in designing for country and like a kind of Indigenous recognition and learning from the knowledge holders of the Birrarung people, who are the local Aboriginal group in Parramatta. There's lots of storytelling as you walk around the building that's embedded in the project.
Cut within the hillside adjacent to the central pool area are all of the support spaces. There are change rooms, there's a creche, a gymnasium, but this is pretty special. A subterranean courtyard encased in these gabion walls. It's almost like a little religious sanctuary next to this aquatic oasis. Drew, talk to me about the community of Parramatta and how effectively something like this has changed their lives.
Yeah, look, it's a really multicultural community here.
What type of numbers are coming through here?
By the time at the end of this summer, we would have in excess of 1 million people coming through the doors.
Wow.
So yeah, in terms of our program numbers, we have around 2,500 learn to swim. And when we opened the doors, we had 30% of those people were adults learning to swim. And we've got around 4,500 health and wellness members.
Sinking it into the hillside, I mean, that's unreal.
Yeah, it's almost like, for me, a Doctor Who's phone box. People come in and just go, wow, what is this place? Because you just cannot see what's in here outside. You know, there's a number of things here that within the design that are advantageous in terms of programming. So our fluid swim wall in the 50-metre pool gives us that flexibility to run water polo in the deep end and people to continue their swimming in the shallow end.
So off that central pool area are all of these subterranean pools. This is an indoor 25. Getting natural light in here underground, that was a trick.
What we did is we created this big concrete structure that is holding up the landscape. And then we introduced these big skylights in the middle of the pools to let all that light in. And also assist with energy consumption because it allows for heat to come in and maintain the temperature that you need in the pool. But at the same time, we needed to be able to control it. So we introduced some operable shading elements. And that way we can open or close the amount of light that we are getting into the space.
So apart from the beautiful architecture, there's an enormous amount of engineering in here, isn't there?
Exactly.
They're clever. Well done. So if we keep skipping that architectural stone across the water, the next space we come into is the learn to swim area. What's this about?
Well, I mean, it was really about making a purpose-built learn to swim pool. There's a huge demand. So we were really interested in the idea of how we could separate it from the main space and just give it its own independent kind of character.
So literally a hop, skip and a jump away and we're in the kids area. This is more like it.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun designing this. It was all about making it entertaining for the kids. We work with a local manufacturer called Park Equip, and it's really just about making the kids have their first experience of water.
And the one key element though is the natural light. And here we have the round skylights, and they're those concrete skylights that shoot above in the landscape above.
Yeah, and every room connects to the big outdoor pool, so everyone knows where they are. Now give me some fun facts. How big is this diameter of this circle? I reckon it's about 75 metres.
Now in swimming, we're always on the clock. How long did this project take to do?
We started working again on concept around 2019 and then it was non-stop until completion in 2023.
Yeah, look, you've embraced this whole project with one strong architectural gesture. It's been an amazing experience. But it's now time for the architectural handicap. Right, I'm going first. Ready, set, go!
Which project do you like best? Vote for your favourite in the Cult People's Choice Award. Just by casting your vote and telling us in 15 words or less which is your favourite, you have a chance of winning a prize from the Now Design collection. A beautiful billow chair designed by Adam Goodrum, a stunning set of Nest tables designed by Adam Goodrum, or a gorgeous Nola lamp designed by Tom Faraday. Just scan the QR code on the screen or go to ByDesign.global and cast your vote in the Cult People's Choice Award. Good luck! We hope you've enjoyed our look at some of the finest architectural projects from around Australia. Join us next time for more groundbreaking designs on Australia by Design. For more information on any of the projects featured in this series and to vote in the Cult People's Choice Award, go to ByDesign.global.